أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنهم يظهروا عليكم يرجموكم أو يعيدوكم في ملتهم ولن تفلحوا إذا أبدا. So this man is telling the other friends that be polite, courteous, make sure that nobody gets to know you, because if they get to know you, innahum yazharu alaikum, and if they find out who you are, yarjmukum, they will rajam you, they will stone you to death, they will kill you. Or yu'idukum fi millatim, or they will turn you back to their own religion previously, which is shirk, which is worshipping statues or gods other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some human beings, they say, I am God, so worship me. This is what usually used to happen. Now, next ayah, number 21. وكذلك أثرنا عليهم ليعلموا أن وعد الله حق وأن الساعة لا ريب فيها. Now, this is the actual reason of why they were made to come up, rise, resurrect, to be resurrected after 309 years. The asarna alayhim, to make it prove to them and to make it evident to them, that liya'lamu, so that they will know, anna wa'adallahi haqqun, that wa'ada, the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about the day of judgment, about the hisab, about nashar, hashar, about rising, resurrection is haqq, is true, is truth. Wa anna sa'ata la rayba fiha, and the sa'at is the moment, the hour of the whole world being finished and then rising again. So this Sa'at. Sa'at has both meaning of finishing of this world and the beginning of the other world, the next world, Akhirah, the Yomul Misal. This is Sa'at. Sa'at is hour. Hour means that hour, when the angel will blow the sur, and that is the hour. And when angel will blow the other sur, that is the hour. وَأَنَّ السَّاعَةَ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهَا, and that there's no rab, there's no doubt, there's no nothing about Sa'at. It will come definitely, which means لَا رَيْبَ فِيهَا. إِذْ يَتَنَازَعُونَ بَيْنَهُمْ أَمْرَهُمْ فَقَالُوا ابْنُوا عَلَيْهِمْ بُنْيَانًا. Now this is a gap here in, it's understood that what will happen. When they went, this story is not told in the Quran, but you can understand what happened. They went to these people, tried to buy something, and they found out that this coin was from a treasure, and it's not a coin that they will accept, in those times, 300 years ago, this coin was being used. And so somebody said, where did you get this? This is not the correct money. You bring me the right money. He says, this is all I have. So he said, okay, maybe you have treasure. Where did you find this treasure? From ancient times, the silver coin. He said, no, this is my own coin, or I brought from persons. And then they took him to maybe governor or qazi or whatever, who was hakim at that place, or maybe. And then this whole story is not told in the Quran. You would understand from maybe riwayat, from your aql, from your wisdom. But then they said, why not? So then evidently he had to explain that I am from those people who, they found out there is a man, you're talking about this money 300 years ago, not now. So who are you? So he said, we went and slept in the cave. So where are you? So he took them to the cave. And he showed them. The people were sitting there waiting for the food. And of course he brought food for them. And people had a look at them, alhamdulillah. And they, this was made obvious to them that there is no doubt of Sa'at, and La Rayba Fiha, there's no doubt about it, and it's definitely coming. So this finished, and then they died. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them pass away without any discomfort that we feel in the death, because they were sleeping previously for 309 years. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them sleep again, and so they went to sleep. They died. No heart was beating for them. So the people who said, okay, let them be buried there, and we write down Raqim over the gate, say these are 7 persons, and they wrote down perhaps their names also. So some of the riwayat have these names, and some of the people say these are names for barakat, because they were chosen people by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He put them there. But we don't know definitely what names are, so we should not use them as taweez or this or that. But we must respect their names and say, okay, alhamdulillah, they were mu'mineen, and they were there, and some people have come up with names, alhamdulillah, but because we are not sure, it's not from Quran, it's not from Hadith, this is from riwayat, that these are their names. 7 names that are given, maybe there's difference in 1 or 2 names, but there's sometimes people write on paper and they put on their doors or whatever. But because definitely it's not from Quran, it's not from Hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so it's from riwayat of ulama, so we don't have to accept it as 100% correct. So the next thing, the people said, what shall we do? And they said, okay, do this or do that or do that. But those people who were in power at that time, they were Christians. As I said before, they were similar to the Christianity that was being persecuted. Of course, Paul brought these differences of saying, he's son of God and all that. We don't know how these people, but they were respectful to the story of Jesus alayhi salam and the story of the people who were sent out, the Hawariyin who went out as apostles of Isa alayhi salam, who went out. So they were respectful to those people. And how was their iman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. But they were like, we are maybe not similar to Ashab Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but we are Muslim. So similarly, they were also believers in Isa alayhi salam and his work and this. So some of them were on the right path, even up to the day of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some of them were guided, and some of them took this son and daughter and mother and all this to be God. So they said that let's build a masjid over them. So they built a masjid. قَالَ الَّذِينَ غَلَبُوا عَلَىٰ أَمْرِهِمْ, those who were overwhelming, who were in authority, who were ghalib in their affairs, who were important people in the society, they say, okay, let's build this building. So they build a masjid. Now, building of masjid, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's grave is there and his masjid. So we go and pray there. And so similarly, our awliya, our people have masajid and their graves are there, but we don't worship the graves there. We worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, looking at Qibla, and the side, the grave is on the side. But some people go beyond, they do mubalagha in respect. They worship actually, or they ask this person in the grave, please help me and this and that. And so this is like, people say, oh, we can ask the people in the grave, and because they will do safarish and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, this is controversial. We don't want to go into that. So you ask directly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will help, and then you go pray for them, you pray for ourselves. But there are our ulama, now modern times, they say, don't pray for them, don't raise your hands in prayer. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Of course, you have to raise your hands for prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you pray for pray for yourself, pray for them also, the people who are sleeping. So there are some limitations of what you can do and what you cannot do. So قَالَ الَّذِينَ غَلَبُوا عَلَىٰ أَمْرِهِمْ لَنَتَّخِذَنَّ عَلَيْهِمْ مَسْجِدًا. And then there's this controversy also about how many they were. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not interested in the number. He says this is wise, that there's day of judgment. This is the point. central point. How many? There were 3 or there were 5 or there were 7 or how many? It's not the problem. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala retells, tells about those people who were making these assumptions. Some of them say, يَقُولُونَ ثَلَاثَةُ رَابِعُهُمْ كَلْبٌ. Some of them said there are 3 and the 4th is their dog. And وَيَقُولُونَ خَمْسَةٌ سَادِسُهُمْ كَلْبُهُمْ. And some people said they are 5 and 6th is their dog. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rejects both of these. It says, Rajman bil ghaib. They were throwing rajm. They are throwing a stone like you throw a stone in darkness, because this khabar was ghaib from them. It was not visible. They did not know exactly. So they were throwing a stone as if we throwing a stone in the darkness. What is your target? It doesn't hit the target because you don't know where it is. It's all dark. So this is dark. But then the third thing, وَيَقُولُونَ, and some of them say, سَبْعَةٌ وَسَامِنَهُمْ كَلْبُهُم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not reject it outright, but in the next ayat he says, don't argue about this. Some people say they are 7 and 8th is their dog. Kul Rabbi alam bi iddatim. Say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, my Lord knows about their adad, about how many they were. 7, 5, 10, 15, we don't know. Kul Rabbi alam bi iddatim. But if you have to choose from 3 and 5 and 7, 7 is nearer. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't worry about 7 also. Just say, Kul Rabbi alam bi iddatim. Ma ya'lamhum illa qalil. Nobody knows except for a few people who knew how many they were. And they are all dead, so we don't know how many they were. But we say, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not reject 7 numbers. Maybe there's nearer. And 7 number is 1 that is acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in many situations. So maybe they were 7, but maybe. We don't say definitely they were 7. I don't know. No, not more, not less. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. قُلْ فَلَا تُمَارِ فِيهِمْ إِلَّا مِرَاءً زَهْرًا. Then don't discuss this. Don't come into argument with them. فِيهِمْ إِلَّا مِرَاءً زَهْرًا. Except for ordinary apparent discussion. What is apparent to you? You say, okay, they were people and they went in the cave and they rose after 309 years and they died. We don't know how many they were. So just mira'an zahiran. وَلَا تَسْتَفْتِ فِيهِمْ مِنْهُمْ آدَى. And don't go on asking them, how many were they? So you are the one who's asking the kuffar or the people who are from Al-Kitab. You ask Jews or Christians how many they were. Of course, they will give you a number. But we don't know if that's true or not. So, وَلَا تُمَارِ فِيهِمْ إِلَّا مِرَاءً زَهْرًا وَلَا تَسْتَفْتِ فِيهِمْ إِنْهُمْ آدَى. And this applies, the final wording applies to all the situations where we have received information from Torah and Injil and Zabur, and there's from Torah, from Quran. If Torah, Injil agrees with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, we say, okay, this is correct. Alhamdulillah. But if it disagrees with Quran, we say no, this is not acceptable. This is rejected. But if it does not disagree or does not agree, it's more information than what is in Quran or some extra information. We can say, okay, we take it on face value. If it does not agree with the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we said, okay, no problem, because this will help us understand situation. So we do not reject it altogether, and we do not accept it 100%. We say, okay, this is definitely, and go on preaching it. So we just keep quiet, and if it's helpful, okay, accept it. If it's not helpful in Sharia, according to Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then it's not acceptable. So, this applies to all the situations of what we get from Torah and what we get from Injil, what we get from Zabur, and what we get from Quran. So if it agrees, yes, acceptable. If it does not agree, and it's different from Quran, altogether different, then we said no, it's not acceptable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down Quran and Wahi directly from Him. There's no human hand in between, so this is acceptable. But if it does not agree, does not disagree, and it's just in between and it's helpful, then you say, okay, maybe we'll accept it as information. Uh, we don't live by it. You don't make it a part of our Sharia. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا. Now this is to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He says, don't say to people, I will tell you this tomorrow. Because they were, these Jews from wherever, they are told Quraysh of Makkah, when Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was still in Makkah, this surah is Makki, Bani Israel surah is Makki, both are sister surahs, they are Makki, and they asked, they said, how do we find out if this man is true or not, if he is prophet or not? He says, okay, you ask them 3 questions. One question is about the king who went to different directions, in the ancient times. So if he knows, if he tells you, then maybe he's prophet. And you ask them about these young people who went into the cave. So ask him, if he tells you the story, then he is prophet. And ask him about ruh. How much does he tell you? What does he tell you? That will depend, So this ruh is in Surah Bani Israel, and these other 2, the cave and Zulqarnain, these are in this surah, Surah Al-Kahf. So the 3 questions are divided. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to them, I'll tell you tomorrow, because I don't know when he comes, so I will tell you. But because he said, I'll tell you tomorrow, and he did not say inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to make it very apparent for him also. They don't go on promising people without istisna, without saying inshallah, mashallah, or whatever. These words are used in mashallah, is also used in the surah. So he says, don't say I will make it known to you tomorrow, because this is warning for you. And this he was delayed for 16, 17, 18 days, and Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam became very concerned, anxious. He said, I had promised these people that I'll tell them tomorrow, but now he is not coming. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was warning you. This is why it did not come for these 16, 17 days, because you made istisna. You did not make istisna. وَلَا تَقُولَ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. It says, except that you say, whatever you say, inshallah, 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 I will do this. So the Ummah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had made it definite to say inshallah. But now Western people take it inshallah as if it's a word of no consequence. When Muslims say inshallah, they mean nothing. So this is not true. Because when somebody says, will you do it? We say inshallah, which means if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make me do it, I will do it. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make me do it, I will not do it. So this is the meaning. See? But they say when Muslim says inshallah, he doesn't mean that he's going to do it. Says no. You should say directly no instead of saying inshallah. But no, we stick to inshallah. We say, even if I am desiring to do it, I cannot do it if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not allow me to do it. That's why you put inshallah there, definitely. And without it, our affairs will be in trouble. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ إِذَا نَسِيتَ. And then remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you have forgotten. When you have forgotten. When you forgot to say inshallah, you say inshallah when you remember, that's one thing. But in all other affairs, when you say something and you do not say it like Bismillah Rahman Rahim, you started off. So this applies to all situations. Not only inshallah, but in all situations it applies. That وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ إِذَا نَسِيتَ. When you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you have forgotten. Which means when you you started off with your food without saying Bismillah. But then in the midst you remembered, I did not say Bismillah. So you say, okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, awwala wa akhira. So in all these situations, whenever you remember that I did not do this, then you do it at that stage. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ إِذَا نَسِيتَ وَقُلْ أَسَىٰ أَن يَهْدِيَنِي رَبِّي لِأَقْرَبَ مِنْ هَٰذَا رَشَدًا. So the ulama say that when you have forgotten something, then you say this whole thing. أَسَىٰ أَن يَهْدِيَنِي رَبِّي Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide me better. لأقرب من هذا رشدا, more closer than this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide me to the path of rushd, inshallah al-amini. So when you have forgotten, then you say this, inshallah also you say it at that stage. But also if you can remember this ayah, part of this ayah, قُلْ أَسَىٰ أَن يَهْدِيَنِ رَبِّي لِأَقْرَبَ مِنْ هَذَا رَشَدًا, then this becomes perfect response to what you forgot. So alhamdulillah, I think we'll stop here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun alal mursalin. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.